What is up, y'all? It is the Canadian Entertainment Podcast, hosted by Ben Stagger. We are back with our May episode, early May. That is around when this will be released. We recorded, these days, everyone wants to know how the sausage is made before it's cooked. I admit that I'm one of these people. I'm constantly watching YouTube videos. How did they make the dinosaurs run in Jurassic Park? How did they make Woody from Toy Story look like a real toy that you could, literally, I'm sure. I have watched that movie and reached my hand out because it looks so real. It looks like a thing I'd probably play with for 5 to 6 hours, and just how whole scenarios and I just get so transfixed and caught up in the world of this Western cowboy man. I would think it's a real person that I'm holding, but it's not. So I watch YouTube videos telling me how it was made. How did they make the whale in Pinocchio look like a real whale when that freaking movie was made in the 20s, man? These are the questions we ask. So I like to give listeners, even if you're a first-time listener, I know not everyone makes a podcast, so a lot of people like to see the behind the scenes. So full disclosure, this podcast has reduced hours right now. We have gone to a once every 20-day podcast or a once a month podcast due to life reasons. So we did have a podcast that would have fit into our 20-day schedule, recorded about 2 weeks ago. It was a special episode of the Canadian Entertainment Podcast hosted by Ben Stagger. It was called The Workbench, and it was focusing on home advancement, how to get more handy in the home, but there was just an element of me not believing in myself while recording it, so it had to be scrapped. And it has been removed from the SD card. The GarageBand audio file has been deleted, so it most likely will never see the light of day unless there is, one of these Edward Snowden types that is able to extract the files from wherever they may lie right now. So the Workbench, unfortunately, first episode was scrapped. And there's no going back at this point. However, let us know if that is something you would like to see, something that focuses on how Canadian entertainment intersects with home advancement and handiness improvement in your household, DIY repairs and stuff. That episode we might need a co-host for, just to bounce ideas off of, but sometimes you just need to know when to say no, when to say that wasn't good enough. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. It's a good idea, but the execution was not there. And I've had a lot of situations in my life where the execution, I feel like, is not there. And sometimes it's good to admit that and pick yourself back up, just like a weed that has been extracted from the dirt. Pick yourself back up and grow again. Now, it is around 8:30 or 8:08. Wow. There's the famous drum, the 808 drum. Now, can we think of any Canadian songs that have an 808 drum in them? I have to think to myself, perhaps maybe um perhaps maybe the Summer of '69 by Bryan Adams perhaps has an 808 drum in it. The timelines would line up because the 808s were popular in the 80s. So perhaps that has an 808 drum in. Brian, if you're listening right now, let us know about this. So we're back with our May episode. It is 8:08 or 8:09 a.m. Southwestern Ontario time, where this podcast is located. We're doing this before Canadian entertainment is all about the hustle and bustle. You got to do everything to succeed. So I do some landscaping right now. Before, I was doing snow removal when it was snowing, but now I am focusing on the land and the weeds and the grass. And that is very counterintuitive to me because I also suffer from pollen allergies. And if you can believe it, for my international listeners, pollen does exist in Canada. And perhaps due to the trade war, we have a surplus of pollen right now in Canada, and we would love to give some away right now, but due to the trade war, we are just sitting on it and can't do anything with it. And I would love to see some of this go. I'd love to spread it around to other countries. I guess, United States is a big trade partner with us, so please, let's stop the foolishness. Let's stop the trade war. Take some of our pollen, please. Anyways, so I'm allergic to this stuff. I wish I could appreciate it because pollen is something that is loved by bees. And bees are some of the most fascinating creatures on the world. There is a bee that is on the box of the Honey Nut Cheerios box. It is a popular cereal, maybe beloved all over the world. I've definitely seen it in Canada. And a couple of years ago, I'm not even kidding you, on the Honey Nut Cheerios box, it used to say gluten-free. But this, and if you're a first-time listener to the podcast, this is especially fascinating to me because I have been battling for multiple decades a disease called celiac. I've been battling it. I have been on the front lines of this disease, doing advocacy work, spray the news, and try to see if I could cure myself and the world of it. Nonetheless, a few years ago in Canada, maybe in the United States as well, I was more really focused on the Canadian side of things. I wasn't paying much attention to too many other countries in the world. Full disclosure, I was really focused. I'm still focused on Canada a lot now, but I'm opening my eyes to, I'm just seeing a few more things that are going on in the world right now. But anyways, so I was intensely focused. I saw all over Canada there were these Honey Nut Cheerios boxes for at least a summer or something. And they were, first summer, they were saying 100% gluten-free on the box, something like that. General Mills' Honey Nut Cheerios were saying that. And I was shocked because I've been going through this multi-decade battle with celiac disease for multiple decades. And I literally was shocked because for decades I was unable to eat Honey Nut Cheerios. I think on the ingredients it said that it contained barley or malted barley or something like that, and that is an overlooked element of the gluten mosaic. Malted barley, sometimes people forget that is a key integral cog in the glutinous machine. And so I was under the impression that Honey Nut Cheerios always had that. So I was absolutely stunned and floored and shocked and in awe when I saw that Honey Nut Cheerios were now gluten-free. I was absolutely aghast. I was down on my knees. I was singing the praises of God. There is a celiac God. God has celiac. We love you. But then, I'm on all these Canadian celiac Facebook groups, subreddits, meetups in real life, and everyone was like, something smells a little bit fishy about this. Something smells a little bit fishy. This is just the 100% gluten free, really? So there are some white hatters or like anonymous or something did some deep diving, and from my knowledge, they found out that no, Honey Nut Cheerios were not 100% gluten free. There was some absolutely freaky stuff going on, and they now and people were, I don't know how far it got, but it might have gone to mediation or something like that, but they have silently removed that claim off the boxes right now. So now I have an enemy once again in Honey Nut Cheerios, but I appreciate that you tried, and I don't know what your claim was based off of. I know a couple years ago that a lot of people were adopting a gluten-free diet, a lot just in solidarity for the celiac cause, not even for health reasons. A lot of people saw how funky of a mess, a lot of us celiacs, and how just shafted by life we have been for years. And a lot of people were just doing it out of solidarity. So, but I think that and this is just my personal opinion, not an accusation. So I think that it's possible that General Mills / Honey Nut Cheerios said, look, all these people are really showing their support by being on a gluten-free diet. Let's trick them and say our cereal is gluten-free, and but let's watch those sales grow. Let's make the shareholders proud. Let's get these profits up. Let's make day traders proud that they have invested in HNC on the stock ticker Honey Nut Cheerios. So they did it, and I'm sure, and I don't even have to look back, but record-breaking profits. People were making millions. People were retiring early. It was just the golden age. But then a couple of my guys, and I don't know them by name, but they must have done some intense research, and they found out no General Mills, and this is just my personal opinion. Don't take it as fact, but they found out General Mills is a bunch of lying bastards, and that they actually were not doing gluten-free stuff, and they were just doing it because so many people had taken the celiac pledge in solidarity for celiacs all across the world, with a huge emphasis on Canadian celiacs, of course, Canadian celiac entertainers. And they just said that it was a ruse. It was simply a ruse. It was just, the wool was pulled over my eyes and many other celiacs' eyes, and I was crying for days once I found out the real truth. And I simply can't believe I was able to pick myself back up, but I picked myself back up. That was one of the greatest tests of my life, and I'm here again now. And that is why I have an issue with pollen, right? I just can't stand bees no more. I really just can't stand them no more after what I was stung badly. And now, just after that, my seasonal allergies have been so bad. In addition to my unseasonal, celiac is a seasonal allergy that is just 24/7, 365 days a week. And I'm just living it. I'm living proof that you can live with it. Yes, you can be a Canadian entertainer with celiac disease. It is possible. It is possible. So if you are listening to this and you are thinking to yourself, I could never make it in the Canadian entertainment business because I have celiac disease. I don't know if I'll be accepted or anything. Well, the truth of the matter is, okay, so I'm working on trying to make it in the Canadian entertainment business. I'm not fully there yet, but I tried my hardest, as hard as I can go, and it is possible. It's just all may take time. I need to go grab a glass of water, but I'll be right back in a few seconds. And with the power of video and audio magic, it will be seamless and it will seem like I wasn't gone at all. With a snap of my fingers, I will go and then I will reappear. We have reappeared with the power of video, audio, technology. I would love. It's so crazy that video and the medium of film has only existed for 100 or so years. I would love to show Thomas Edison or some of these people just how easily that would really Thomas Edison would be so tripped out by this. He would be so tripped out by this. He would be so tripped out by this, because the thing is like, not only would I be like, hey, check this out. You could do all of this so simply now. It is so simple. I'd be like, guess what? Yes, you could also do it on CapCut on a phone. And that would piss him off because I heard that him and Alexander Graham Bell were intense rivals. And he would be so pissed that the Scottish Canuck, he won the battle because, yes, we still use video cameras and stuff, but a video camera has now been integrated with a phone. Has a phone ever been integrated with a video camera? Now I'm talking like, has there ever been a cinema camera that has a phone connected to it? Well, I'm not sure about that, but I'm sure a lot of listeners will be looking into that in an extreme way. Anyways, so a lot has been going on in the past couple of weeks in Canadian entertainment. And of course, for first-time listeners, I like to do this podcast. We talk about Canadian entertainment. We talk about the broader implications in the broader world of Canadian entertainment, but sometimes to get the picture of something as big and vast as Canadian entertainment, we need to zero it in on one thing, one person. And well, of course, I'm the guy with the mic, the 40K podcast setup. So we'll focus it on what has been going on in my life. Now, it will break the heart of some Canadian people to know that, and I mean, I've been posting it all over socials, so it's not a surprise to I know there's some people who just follow just on audio and video and whatever, but yes, I did go to New York City, the city of dreams or I don't know if it's the city of dreams. They call it the city of something. I did go last week to visit my friend Veronica, and yes, during the trade war, I know, but that's the thing. We have Canadians live there, so I cannot. We had plans for months to visit and stuff like that. So. We did it. I know a lot of people are canceling trips and stuff like that, but I didn't cancel. We had some stuff we needed to do, so we did it. But it was is fascinating being in the city of New York City. Um, it is like, okay, so you know what's so okay. It's so, you know how we had that crack smoking mayor a couple of years ago named Rob Ford. Well, it's interesting because in some ways New York City feels like Toronto on crack in some ways. I've never done that, but like, you know how some people use that phrase. So it's big and stuff like that. And you know what? I was around so many Canadian entertainers when I was down there. Bobby Warner, Malik, Alessio, um, and I like so it was interesting because it was kind of like it was kind of like, okay, yes, I'm in this other country, but guess what? I'm being Canadian entertained right now. So there you go. But anyways, uh, it was a good time, and but now I'm back in Ontario, Canada. I'm just, we're figuring things out. But I just was thinking a lot there, and um just I just spent so much time thinking when I was there, and I drove there and back in my 19, in the 1996 Plymouth Breeze. And you know what? Sometimes as I was driving down the highway, I was like, wow, this looks literally like Ontario. It's like maybe these two places are kind of similar. Maybe, it made me think, well, I was like, well, this is really one Earth, This is one big planet and we're all connected. That's what I thought to myself. So, yeah, it just, obviously it sucks, everything that's going on, but it was a reminder. I was like, oh, wow, we're one big planet. We're one big connected thing. And how crazy is that? I just literally thought that to myself in a massive way. But when I was down there, I was thinking a lot, about my Canadian entertainment career, and I feel like, and I mean, I've talked about this before in this podcast, that like, sometimes I go, and I think this has been something that's been with me for a long time. I go in waves of believing in myself, not believing in myself, and sometimes I don't even want to talk about it because I don't want to set things into motion or like say something out loud and then affirm, but it's just back and forth. And then sometimes, when I'm not believing in myself, I'm like, oh damn, you're just believing in yourself, but then you went back to not believing in yourself mode. I don't know if you'll ever fully be in believe in yourself all the time mode and harness that to be successful in your Canadian entertainment passions. I've thought that before, but I mean, I I think that a lot of people go in, and maybe not everyone says it out loud, but some people a lot like how the world's connected, and it still looks like Ontario when you cross the border. It's like, well, maybe other people go through believing in themselves and not believing in themselves too, is what I'm trying to say. But one thing I did, and one thing I guess I've been, going back and forth with for a number of years now is that I, I, I guess like, yes, I've talked about this before. Yeah, I want to do everything. I want to be one of the best bingo hosts in Canada. I want to be an actor, a director, a writer, a Canadian actor, director, writer. I want to be a comedian, a Canadian comedian on the stage, and I want to be a singer songwriter, a Canadian singer songwriter, you know, and I guess that this. Oh crap! I hear oh. Okay, so I just had a alarm set because I woke up a lot earlier than suspected. I so I had an alarm ringing to try to remind me to wake up if I didn't wake up due to the pollen allergies, due to what I've been going through since being let down by General Mills and the Honey Nut Cheerios brand within General Mills. But that's just opinion, not based on, just for litigation reasons. That's just my opinion. All these are just opinions, not researched, is what I'm trying to say. Opinions and feelings. Okay? So I'm not trying to say anything's concrete, nothing's information or evidence. It's just opinions. Anyway, so yes, so for years I've been wanting to do everything, blah blah blah. Not always able to completely focus on one thing, or focusing on like multiple things at once. And I guess since I was, and I never reveal my age. I find it absolutely impolite to reveal my age, even when crossing the border and like going into bars and stuff. I always put my finger. I say, "You can see me. Look, this is the same person, but you don't gotta see my age." That's rude. That's a rude thing for you to ask, and that is an absolutely rude thing for me to even show you. Why? I say why. I say that. Because I say why, because I say it's so rude. Because do you know, if I say this, I say, do you know, if I showed you my age, that it could severely ruin my chances in the Canadian entertainment industry? I say that to border people. I say that, to a lot of people in my life, constantly. But sorry to go off. I just need to. Right now, my body is requesting to have a swig of water, so I'm gonna do it. And a lot of people would edit this out, but I think it just brings something so new to the podcast space. So let's keep this in. I'm holding the mic as close as I can to this cup of water. Let's see what happens. And you know what? If you're listening, wherever you are in the world, try to pick up a cup and let's time out a sip together. This is water, by the way, just so you know. You hear that? That's cool. Anyways, off camera for 1 second. So age. Oh yeah, so I want, for years I've wanted to do everything in the Canadian entertainment space. It's so bountiful. It's like, it's a harvest of creativity. But I mean, I feel like sometimes inability to focus on one thing has hindered me of not, and despite me kind of loving to landscape and stuff like that, and that is entertaining, right? Or snow removal. People are, joy is entertained, not joy, right? People are in joy when they see a sidewalk cleared, or they see their grass cut, or they see weed removed. Like, that is entertainment. That is Canadian entertainment, because I'm doing it on Canadian soil, mostly in Ontario, right? That is Canadian entertainment. But I think maybe that's not what I want to do fully. That particular branch of the Canadian entertainment industry, the gardening, landscaping, upkeep sort of thing. I mean, I love it, and I hope to, but I think sometimes I just want to do more of the other stuff, right? So yeah, I've just had, a bit of a hard time focusing, strategizing, figuring out exactly. Well, I want to do everything, but but since I was a bit younger than I am today, I can admit that I was younger than I am today, despite not ever revealing my Canadian age. Since I was a bit younger than I am today, I have always been bouncing a bit back and forth between doing comedy and then doing like music stuff, right? And now bingo's in the equation too, but we'll get that out of the conversation. Comedy, music stuff. I was in some bands when I was younger and stuff like that. And I guess and you know what? So now that since I have feel like since doing more things in the comedy space and getting like having some people know me as this, right? That's what I feel like. Whoever knows me or whatever, not saying I'm super, but in the space of being known by some, it's all I feel like a lot of people know me comedy, or whatever. Entertainment is a form of comedy. I'm not always comedic. I'm sometimes just be Canadian entertaining, but I also really find myself, you know, loving to write or music and play music and all that crap, And I think I've always been like, uh since I've been doing a lot of comedy stuff and having Canadian comedic opportunities, I've felt a little embarrassed of releasing music, especially if it's ever of a more a serious nature, I guess, or whatever. I don't know if I want to say serious. And I mean, I admit, yeah, I find it is a little embarrassing, but I guess it's like a part of what I what I what I enjoy to do, I suppose. I guess I was doing that when I was younger. This is some bands, and and I'm not trying to say I deserve to. I'm not trying to say I but I think I just need to admit to people that I, in addition to wanting to be a serious Canadian entertainer, and Canadian comedian in some ways, I also want perhaps want to be a serious musician in some ways. And you know what? I think admitting that is a good thing, because trying to dance around it, maybe people are like, what the heck's going on? And you know what? I feel like, of course, sometimes you write some songs, and like, yeah, they have some interesting, humorous lyrics, but if I admit that I also, in addition to wanting to be a serious entertainer, serious, perhaps Canadian actor, serious, perhaps Canadian comedian, I also want to be a serious Canadian musician, then it might just work that, like, people think that's funny. And I think that works for, um, if I think that works for my overall, if you find me humorous, if you think that's funny, that I also want to do that seriously, then maybe that's a good thing, That's why I thought about that. And I don't know in what capacity. Well, no, I should know what I mean, I don't know. I just like playing music and recording music. And I know that obviously a lot of humorous people have been doing that, and and uh and I get it. Yeah, a lot of people probably think that's lame, and I get it. Don't worry, I get it. I get it. I get it. But sometimes you can't stop the music. It's just one of those things, It's just I'm not saying I deserve to be taken seriously. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that that's something I also just like to do, and I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I guess for the past couple of months, I've been spending a lot of time in addition to, writing, performing, doing other things, writing another whole thing of music. I don't know how many people actually who like uh the sort of, bed entertainment or media complex are into the music factor. I know a lot of the music I've recorded has been very questionably, or at least my soul music. I mean, I have some old band stuff. I know I know a lot of it, the stuff that's been recorded by me specifically, is very questionable in terms of production quality, and might sound absolutely shocking on depending on what sort of speakers and headphones you're listening to. But I am thinking, I'm pretty sure in the future, in the next little bit, I'm gonna record some stuff in a in a in a better atmosphere, and I don't know. It's just something I like to do. So yeah, that's just something I like to do, and I know maybe it's extremely embarrassing, but need I need to just I I need to just uh make my intentions clear that in addition to doing comedy, entertainment, acting, bingo hosting, writing, um content creation, I also want to be a serious Canadian musician. Not like, oh, I'm so serious, like, oh, but you know what I mean. But no, I'm not trying to say anyone has to take me seriously. I'm just saying that is part of my intention, and maybe it's embarrassing as hell. And I just need to get over. I just need to get over. And if you and you know what, in my mind, I'm picturing someone hears that in this podcast right now, and they close their laptop and they fucking throw it across at their neighbor, or they throw it on or they go for a drive and they throw it on a highway, or throw their phone. That's what I picture. Throw the phone in Lake Ontario. I get that. I'm sorry if I ruined your day. I'm not trying to say, oh no, but that's something I kind of picture sometimes. But I'm just trying to do it all, see what one life can handle, and maybe there's a possibility that I won't be successful in any capacity. Like, when I say successful, I mean just like being able to live off of doing these things. So maybe there's a chance I won't be successful in any capacity, but we'll try for a while. We're gonna try for the next little while. I try to do a little bit of everything, cause sometimes you just gotta do a little bit of everything. As a great person said once, you gotta do a little bit of everything. Anyways, have another sip of water. I don't know if I should ever do a podcast again standing up. For the audio listeners, I am currently standing up right now, and yep, I don't know. I need to desperately work out or something. I've been up for a long time due to allergy issues. Anyways, okay. I gotta have another drink of this, and we're gonna snap the fingers once again and do one more reset of this. Okay. Okay. We are back, y'all. Thanks again for tuning in to another extremely exciting and amusing episode of the Canadian Entertainment Podcast, hosted by Ben Stagger. We're back sitting down in our normal position. When I talk about the first episode, the scrapped episode, the workbench, with a focus on how the Canadian entertainment space intersects with handiness, professional home advancement. Um, I would like to also add that that entire episode was filmed standing up too. So, I mean, I felt particularly positive today when starting this off around 8. I mean, we had a couple restarts, but we started around like 8 o'clock or so. I felt particularly positive when we started this off, but when we were filming the workbench, I really liked the idea, but I was feeling a certain type of way that day. But I know as a Canadian entertainer, even if you're not feeling positive, you need to be able to put on. You need to be able to block out uh the non-positive feelings and just be able to entertain. So, and you know what? Sometimes I can think to myself, "Oh man, I've been doing this for so long. Is it just impossible for me to block out some of those non-positive Canadian entertaining feelings?" And I think I have to believe that it's something that I can overcome. Because if you believe that's something that you can overcome, maybe it is possible to overcome those negative Canadian entertaining feelings of when trying to record a spin-off podcast called The Workbench. Anyways, so as we all know, Xavier Trudeau is releasing a new he's releasing a new song. I think this might be his second single or so. But I've been seeing it all over social media. And one of the most fascinating things I saw recently was that he had his father, Justin Trudeau, in a reaction video with him looking at the trailer for his new song. I forget the exact name, but there's a name for it. I believe so. Anyways, it was so interesting to see Justin Trudeau in a reaction video to his son's song. I've never seen Justin Trudeau react to something like that. And now that he is out of the political space, Justin Trudeau, I believe I don't think he ran to become a member of parliament. And to all listeners around the world, member of parliament is like a representative in a party that is not the leader. Anyways, and he was in the Papineau riding from my memory. Anyways, which is in Quebec, specifically Montreal, I believe. Anyways, so I was watching this as seeing Justin Trudeau react to this video with his son, Xavier, and it made me wonder. First, I know that before he was a politician or a prime minister, I know that he was into acting. So my question is for us today, do you think I could get Justin Trudeau to act in a short film with an under $200 budget? I do kind of want to see him act in some short films and stuff like that. And I would love to cast him in something. I really just want to see him get back into acting again, and I'd be 100% serious. I would love to see him get back into acting. Like, I actually think he'd be a star. I honestly think Justin Trudeau could be an absolute star, and I think he could. I don't know. I could picture him. Well, I could picture him in like a Star Wars movie, perhaps. Like I could also picture him in a Marvel movie. Like you could totally picture him play the role of, just Spider-Man. I would love to see Justin Trudeau play Peter Parker. Oh, that'd be so interesting. So let's Justin Trudeau, you know, you're in retired life, but I also think it's time, second career life, explore your passions. So if you if you want to talk about the Canadian entertainment industry with me, I could fill you on because I know how busy it could be. Be a politician, and if you want to know how things have been for the past couple of years, do not hesitate to reach out to me, man. I just really am just so I'm so curious to see how this next little bit goes. You you maybe have more opportunities than ever, so think what you need to do and do what you need to do. Intuition is on your side, Justin Trudeau. So I am so delighted. I'm so interested to see where you go, Justin Trudeau. Um, you will go somewhere, okay? And we're happy for that, I think. Okay. I cannot believe how early I woke up with a pollen attack, and now I feel like I am absolutely birdie. I'm burning out. I'm going through it. I'm burning out, and I have to go to work soon. This is incredible. We have never seen anything like this. We have never seen someone so hyped up to record a podcast and then burn out and realize he has to go remove he has to go weed whack and water lawns and stuff like that. But it might rain today, so we're gonna see what happens. I think okay, this is another thing I want to talk about. I have a wardrobe full of work clothes that I wear to go to work, right? And I was just wondering, I honestly think it'd be really cool if I started like landscaping and stuff. If I start wearing a tie and a and a blazer while doing it as well. It is so weird how energy dictates how well you flow in podcasting. This is just such a life lesson. I feel like some episodes of this podcast, they really have a weak start and then an amazing ending, and I'm always worried that people are going to miss out on the amazing things. I feel like I get to a flow state near the end, but like I am not in a flow state right now. I am in an anti-flow state for the past little bit, but that's sometimes how this Canadian entertainment biz goes. You believe in yourself. And this is not about belief. And you know what? That's one thing I also gotta remember. It's like sometimes I don't feel at my full power, but like then I'm like, oh, you got no sleep, you're experiencing allergies. Give yourself a break, because you know what? Despite how hard I can be on myself, I can show up on time. I don't cancel out on much stuff. I do cancel out. I'm just not like serious stuff. Sometimes I'll cancel out a hangout, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry if I've done that. But I need to. I think I just need to eat healthier. Really get in touch with my celiac disease. Battle my allergies. Try to exercise more. Just try. I just need to put myself in a better like, I know you don't want to be so deluded by positivity that you're just like block everything else out, or like, oh, I can only have positive. I just want to be and I mean sometimes I experience this. I just want to be just willing to accept and embrace any things that come my way. You know? I think that's what a lot of people want. I think that a lot of I feel like sometimes the biggest barrier in my life is my own mind, you know. And I mean, the mind is connected to the gut, so perhaps there is a legitimate claim to the fact that, I legit am going through a multi-decade battle with celiac disease. It's not just an intestinal battle, it's a mental battle too. It is mental warfare, as they say, this battle against celiac disease. Because, you know, everyone has everyone has mental health issues. And obviously I'm not trying, but I'm just saying, I just feel like it's been an ongoing struggle. Maybe life is just an ongoing struggle, but all I'm trying to say is that I feel like a lot of problems in my life are just thought problems in my head, thought processes. But of course, things come up. But I some yeah, I could be I have a hard time with conflict. I have a hard time with problems sometimes, and and maybe that's just I know what that could be based upon, but I think it's I find myself easily overwhelmed when it's just like shocks me based on past life events, based on life events, and that is why this podcast is down to 20 once every 20 days. It's due to life events. I wanted to put that in my show description. I thought of that when I was uh when I was walking around New York. It's 20 days due to life events, because that is true. I just feel like increased landscaping schedule, increased everything else schedule, and honestly, maybe doing bingo weekly has really ramped up my own schedule. Anyways, it's good that I remember that, because I was like, was it life reasons or life events? But it's life events. It truly is. Life is full of events, and Canadian entertainment events are part of the life event sphere. I will be honest with you, sometimes I do wonder, and I've brought this up before, but I do wonder if this is all a video game. And and I'm not even kidding you, and I don't even want to speak this into the world, but I guess I must, because I am literally about to say it. But sometimes I'm like, I sometimes wonder if outside of here, maybe there's a world just like this, and maybe I literally put on a sort of like Total Recall. Maybe I paid to put on a headset, and this is just a big experience on a headset. And once I maybe I'm like a somewhat an adrenaline junkie on the other side of life, and I chose this life of this. I chose this avatar, this character of being wanting to see what it's like to be a Canadian entertainer. A whole lifetime of Canadian entertainment from zero to however old I will reach. I cannot tell you how old I will reach, because of course the whole ageism thing in the Canadian entertainment industry. But sometimes I do legitimately wonder if I'm an adrenaline junkie on the other side, and they have this technology, sort of like Total Recall, where you can literally experience another life or something like that, and you have no idea what your life is like on the other side. I hope that's not the case, because I mean, yeah, I do. I mean, I know a lot more people are talking about this. Uh, so I'm not the first. I'm not trying to say it's like anything, no novel, but I do believe in God. I absolutely do believe in God. I know a lot, I'm not trying. And I understand if you don't. I totally understand that, but I just want to. But I just want to. You know, I want. I want to have hope. Hope not and not just hope for myself. And I know obviously I could be a selfish person, you know? We all could be selfish people. I could definitely, but I want, like, I believe in God. I want to have hope. I want to have hope. I want to have hope in a Canadian entertainment context. And don't we all? So I think that's an excellent way to end this studied, highly entertaining, highly fascinating. This was a character study of an episode. May has to start off with a bang. So I hope this episode was everything you dreamed of. Sorry we were able to get the workbench out. That's going to be a thing we revisit in the next couple of years, coming months. I think it'd be great. Kyle Patton, I don't think you listened to this, but if anyone is listening to this as a friend of Kyle Patton, tell him I'm interested in hosting a Canadian entertainment spin-off podcast called The Workbench, where we talk about home advancement, handiness improvement in the household under the umbrella of Canadian entertainment. Anyways, thank you all once again for supporting this project, this thing. I wish you all well, and I'm hoping for the best for us all. So thank you again, once again, for supporting my Canadian entertainment dream. I could not be more grateful for your support, and that it is 100% factual. So thank you for sticking around with me on this journey. We will speak to you so soon, and I I love you. I really do. Thank you very much. Bye for now.